Hey everyone, I'm James, and this is Covetous Imp Gaming, and this week we're going to do a review of my campaign of Descent to Avernus. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like this video, leave us a comment below, and hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can get that message from the YouTube imps that says,
"Hey, Covetous Imp Gaming just released a new video. Go check it out."
Look for us on Facebook and Patreon. Those links are provided down below. Before we get started, I have to warn you all that there are some mild spoilers to Descent to Avernus. Before I started my campaign, I did go on the DM's Guild and download the one-shot, The Fall of Elturel. I will leave a link to that down below. It was a good way of really roping the characters into the idea of Baldur's Gate and actually bearing witness to the actual fall of Elturel. Chapter 1, A Tale of Two Cities, really gets a bad rep from a lot of people. And I think that it really does a good job of tying and foreshadowing a lot of what happens in the campaign together in one of the two dungeon crawls. In Chapter 2, Elturel Has Fallen, the characters are going to get their first view of Avernus. I imagine this as fire and brimstone in the sky, and they're getting it all from 300 feet in the air on the streets of Elturel. This is their first introduction to the blood war, the demons and the devils fighting one another, and the characters using this war to navigate the streets and make their way into the last bastion of hope in Elturel. After another brief dungeon crawl, they are ready to descend the chains and begin Chapter 3, Avernus. Avernus is a sandbox. And depending on whether your players choose the path of demons or the path of devils, they're only going to see half of what Avernus has to offer. If you have a player that's fallen in love with a certain overpowered shield, the DM's Guild has another good one-shot that can be dropped into Avernus at any time, and it's called the Infernal Bounty, and a link to that will also be down below. For my group, it seemed like Chapter 3 took a really long time, and once they completed all the tasks that they needed to, and we're ready to move into Chapter 4, the Sword of Zariel, things really started to pick up in pace. Chapter 4 brings another dungeon crawl. This one is very unique and challenging. At the end of that dungeon, you are pulled into the past and shown events that really pull a lot of backstory for this entire campaign together. And it has a type of battle that has grown to become a favorite of mine, and that's that wave battle where this happens when there's 3 monsters left, the next wave happens, and it just keeps going and going and going until you reach the end, and there's no real chance for a break or a rest. You have to keep pushing your way forward. Chapter 5, The Escape from Avernus, is when the party has finished dealing with Zariel one way or another and is deciding who is going to rule Avernus. I want to give a big shout out to Gale Force 9 for putting out some amazing maps and minis to really augment this campaign. This is the map to Avernus. I also want to give a big shout out to my friends Eric and Christina over at the Raven's Nest in Marion, Connecticut for doing such an amazing job of painting these Gale Force 9 minis. This is Yinogu. This is Baphomet. And finally, this is Zariel. Thanks again for the awesome job painting these guys. Everybody at the table loved them. When I was in the throes of Chapter 3, I wasn't sure if I would ever run this campaign again. I really loved Chapters 1 and 2, and I loved Chapters 4 and 5 just as much. But when the new Tiamat mini, which is no mini, got announced, I can say that I can't wait to run this campaign again. That's going to do it for this week. Next week, we'll be doing our video on backstories and how you can write your character's backstory to really immerse your character into the game that you're playing. We'll also be doing our April giveaway. Leave a comment on this video, as well as all our posts on Facebook throughout this week for your entries to win. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support. We'll see you next week.